who's actually going to benefit from a commercial-grade ice maker like the Westlake 700lb/24-hour model, and who should just keep their current countertop unit. If you're running a coffee shop that needs a constant supply of clear cubes for iced lattes, a boutique hotel serving cocktail hour, or a busy bar that can't afford to run out of ice during a weekend rush, that's the kind of buyer who will feel the value. On the other hand, if you only need a few pounds of ice a week for a small office or a home kitchen, you'll probably be paying for capacity you'll never use. And yes, the price tag sits in the higher-end bracket for most small business owners, so the question is whether the day-to-day savings in labor and downtime actually outweigh that upfront cost. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. Let's start with the environment the machine lives in. A commercial ice maker isn't something you just drop on a countertop and forget about. It's a piece of equipment that gets installed in a back-of-house space where water lines, drainage, and electrical supply are already set up. For a coffee shop, that usually means a 110120V 3-phase outlet or a dedicated circuit, plus a connection to a filtered water line to keep the cubes clear. If you're the type of owner who hasn't dealt with plumbing contracts before, you'll need to budget for a plumber's hour or two to get the hose and drain properly routed. That's a hidden cost that many first-time buyers overlook. Once it's hooked up, the Westlake's digital control panel is fairly straightforward. You set the production rate, and the unit handles the rest. The intelligent voiced failure function actually narrates error codes through a speaker, which can be a lifesaver during a busy service shift. No more guessing if a sensor is tripped or the compressor is overheating. That voice cue is a practical strength you won't see on cheaper, non-commercial units. From a daily operations perspective, the real advantage shows up in the ice output numbers. At 700 pounds per day, that's roughly 30-35 cubes per minute, meaning the machine can replenish a bar's ice bin faster than a server can fill a glass. In a coffee shop that serves 200 iced drinks a day, the machine will stay well within its capacity, allowing you to keep a steady stream of icy beverages without scrambling for ice trays. The 440-pound storage bin also means you can keep a reserve stock of ice on hand during peak rushes, reducing the need for a backup ice maker or frequent refills. For a small restaurant that only sells a handful of cocktails per night, however, that huge storage capacity might be overkill, and you could end up with a machine that sits idle half the time. One practical weakness is the water consumption. A commercial ice maker of this size draws a significant volume of water, roughly 10-12 gallons per hour at full production. If your venue operates in an area where water costs are high, or if you have a limited water supply, you'll see that expense add up quickly. The unit is NSF certified, which means it meets strict health and safety standards, but that also implies a certain level of water quality is expected. If you have hard water, you may need a dedicated softening system, otherwise you risk scale buildup on the evaporator coils, which can reduce efficiency over time. Since Westlake offers a fully guaranteed maintenance service, you have a safety net, but the service contract is an additional line item that some small owners might not factor into the initial purchase price. Another point to consider is noise. Commercial ice makers typically emit a low to mid humming sound while the compressor is running, and the Westlake is no exception. In tight kitchen spaces where the ice maker sits near a prep line, that hum can blend into the background noise of slicers and mixers, but if the unit is close to a dining area, it could become noticeable to guests. The design of the Westlake includes insulated panels that help dampen the sound, so you won't hear a clanging clack-clack every time a new batch of cubes drops, but be prepared for a constant whir that you'll have to accommodate in your floor plan. What about durability? The stainless steel exterior is not just an aesthetic choice, it's meant to withstand the rigors of a commercial kitchen: spills, splashes, and occasional bumps from carts. The machine has passed rigorous production standards and carries the full suite of safety certifications, which suggests that the internal components from the compressor to the water pump are built for continuous operation. In a real-world setting, those certifications translate to fewer unexpected breakdowns, which is a concrete value proposition when you consider labor costs. That said, the machine's size, roughly the footprint of a large refrigerator, means it requires a decent amount of floor space, so if you're in a cramped venue you'll have to make a trade-off between space for a high-capacity ice maker and other essential equipment. Now, who should definitely consider this purchase? Think of any business that relies heavily